solar power. There was a large project that came into the county last year. The Rainbow Trout Solar Project out in western Tippecanoe County was a proposed 1,700 acre solar farm. And the neighbors, boy oh boy, came out in force to say that they weren't interested in this. And they kind of got put on hold. There's a lot more detail to it, of course, than that. But as a result, the Tippecanoe County Commissioners asked the zoning board, asked the Area Plan Commission to go in and develop a zoning code to deal with these large-scale solar projects. And after several months of consideration and meetings, I believe it's fair to say that neither side is happy, which I believe means by definition it's a successful negotiation. A successful negotiation is when both sides walk away unhappy. I will give you the brief rundown. Solar farms will have a 400 acre maximum size. They have to be contiguous. They can't be split up. You can't have 80 acres here and 100 acres there and call them one project. And these projects have to be a mile apart. They are allowed by right, as is any development in industrial zones or projects that go through the Board of Zoning Appeals for special exceptions. So currently, the solar projects were allowed in AA, which is select agriculture zoned lands, and now they cannot. That strips almost 94,000 acres by right for solar projects in Tippecanoe County is what we're talking about here, which takes out about 41% of the current acreage that is currently permitted for solar projects in the unincorporated parts of Tippecanoe County. Tippecanoe County would now limits solar development to a total of 6,000 acres across all of Tippecanoe County. You now have to have setbacks that are larger. The current regulations were 50 feet, but now they're going to make the setbacks be 500 feet from neighboring properties. And developers are going to have to pay for third-party reviews if the county asks them for any sort of technical review. So that onus is going to be moved on to the developers, and more guidelines on the decommissioning of solar farms. So that is the highlights of what the new covers as far as large-scale solar development in unincorporated Tippecanoe County. This is the area that the Tippecanoe County Commissioners are responsible for as the executive department of our local county government here. So I think that a lot on the side of pro-solar development were very unhappy with this, that we're kind of choking this off before it can start. And there's a lot of people who were against it who thought that this wasn't enough restriction. I see both sides of the argument. I do understand the argument of wanting to put solar on rooftops and other developed places. There's certainly a lot to recommend that. And I certainly don't want to stand in the way of farming. I think farming and feeding people is a good thing. But the flip side of that is if somebody owns their property and they want to sell it to somebody, now we're getting a little bit in the business of telling them who and when they can sell. It will be interesting to see how this develops. I hope that we haven't heard the last of it. We might have. Solar might just look at Tippecanoe County and go, we're not interested there. But I am hopeful that things will continue to develop, that we will find new ways to bring alternative energy to the market, because looking towards the future is the only way, full stop. Coal-fired power plants weren't here 200 years ago, and they won't be here 200 years from now. Is large-scale solar development in agricultural rural areas the best use of land? Maybe not. It might be the next thing. It might not be the next thing. But the Tippecanoe County Commissioners have decided that for the moment, they're going to give a little more room to breathe, as it were, to residents out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Drop it in the comments and hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss a minute of the content here on the Lafayette Reel throughout the week.